Good evening and welcome back. We're going to be looking at the water element now with Breeze. And the water element is going to be kidney and bladder. So we're going to go back over all those shoe points and you see them all together. So the first point we're going to start with is kidney 1, which is at that 6 o'clock location on the little shelf in the back of the foot. And then the kidney meridian actually goes up the inside of the leg, and right in this, if you take your hand and make a C, you run it down on the outside of the leg, you're gonna reach thumb hole on the inside and actually on the outside, which is another point. And so the one on the inside is kidney 3, and then you go up about 4 fingers. It should be a little bit higher, but it's right here. And that is kidney 7, which is the tonification point. On the kidney meridian, kidney 3 is the source point. So it's up a little bit higher. I have it marked better on this side. So kidney 3, kidney 7. Kidney 7 is actually on the muscle. It's not in the dip, it's on the muscle. And then the next point you would go up to would be kidney 10, which is the water point. And right here, it's the back of the stifle joint, and it's kind of where that leg crease is. And on the inside you have kidney 10. And then the last point on the kidney meridian that we're going to talk about, a kidney meridian actually runs underneath the whole body. And then you come to kidney 27, and the way you find that is that here's her sternum. So this is the top. This is the top of her sternum, and then you run your 2 fingers on the sides. When I drew this, she was standing funky. Now she's standing funky again. So there's the top of the sternum, and then you run your 2 fingers down the side, and it kind of sits on 2 little shelves. So there's the top of the sternum. It moved again. Top of the sternum, go down just a little bit, and there's a shelf on either side that you are going to feel, and that is kidney 27. So from the kidney meridian, we are going to go to the bladder meridian. The first point we're going to look at is bladder 10, and that is actually on the first cervical vertebrae on the muscle. So you feel, here's the wing, and it's like on the muscle that's like right on top of this wing, and that is the test point for the opposite hind end. And then you go down and we get to the bladder meridian. So here you can see all the points we've already marked, and we'll go back over them very quickly and use the shoe points. So the first one, you come around the back of the scapula and fall into a hole. That's bladder 13, that's the lung point. And then about 2 fingers width back is going to be your pericardium point, bladder 14. About 2 fingers back from there is going to be bladder 15, with your heart point. Now those are a little more than a hand's width depending on how big the withers and how tall the withers are. And then we come to the 2 liver points and the gallbladder point. And the first liver point, bladder 18A, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rib spaces and go up. 18B is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 rib spaces and go up. Bladder 19 is going to be 1, 2, 3 spaces and go up. And then there's a little gap. And the next ones we come to are going to be on the outside, that floating rib. So 1 space in. You kind of skip the second rib space, and you go to 1 rib space in, and then on the other side of it, so on either side of that floating rib, and go up. And that's bladder 20 for the spleen and 21 for the stomach. And then the easiest way to find bladder 22 is to first find bladder 23. So I always go to the outside edge of the ribs where they hook, and I go straight up and about a hand's width off. All of these shoe points are on the average horse, obviously not a mini or a draft, there's all going to be different, but it's about a hand's about a hand's width off the spine. That's bladder 23. And then in between bladder 21 and bladder 23 is bladder 22 for triple heater, bladder 23 for kidneys. And then you're going to move back, and right in front of that tubercocci, or for that croup, you're going to have, go back, and it is a farther distance. And then boom, you're going to have bladder 25, which is your large intestine. And then as you go over the rump right there, you're going to come to bladder 27, which is the small intestine. And then bladder 28 is the next one farther down, and that would be the bladder point on the bladder meridian. So those are your shoe points. And then as you come down the bladder meridian, first point you're going to come to is going to be bladder 40, which is the master point for the back and hindquarters. And that is on the other side of kidney 10. So those are often done together. And you just see I'm like right there. There's one, and then there's the other. And then as we come down, we're going to hit bladder 60, which is most often done with kidney 3. So kidney 3 is on the inside. Bladder 60 is on the outside. That's another good point for the hindquarters. And then as you come down to the ting point, that is going to be bladder 67. And that is a third of the way from the back, which is where kidney 1 is. Or on the left foot, this is going to be at 8 o'clock. And on the right foot, it would be at 4 o'clock. And that will conclude these 5 element. And let me take a kind of a view so you can see all the points that we put on Miss Breeze. And I have one more look at these shoe points that are going all the way down her back, and their corresponding colors to their elements. All right, say thank you, Breeze.